Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Borderwise, and welcome back to From the Depths Subscribercraft Review. And now, once again, before we get into it, excuse me, Mr. Ship, can you stop moving forward very slowly? I'm trying to talk here. Okay, before we get into it, just a little reminder for all those of you who are new to the series, since it's been some time since the last one, submissions are closed. I am not accepting any new entries for this series, simply because of life and workload and having to go through designs and blah blah blah, etc, etc. And there was probably another thing, but I forgot what it was. And yeah, so for those of you who are wondering why I keep forgetting to do fun words in a foreign language, I keep forgetting to do that. That's basically the only reason why. And it just feels like unnecessary padding for a subscriber craft review, so I'm not going to do that now. But next video, I will do that. I will remember. We'll learn some Turkish together, and it's going to be a fantastic time all around. So, on to the actual ship. This is the Kirov, by Captain Mk7 C, and it is a battleship. It is a very expensive battleship, and at a whopping 713,166 materials. And the disclaimer, as is probably going to be the case for all upcoming subscribercraft reviews, is that this was submitted months ago. This thing, you have to bear in mind, a lot of updates have happened since this thing was first built and first submitted. And so a lot of things are not going to be optimal as of right now, and that is not Captain's fault. That's just how the game has been, and yeah, I haven't received an updated blueprint, and so this is what we're going to review now. So the actual name of this thing, if you hit the V menu, is the Kirov class shielded V4, and this is actually not the original one. This is possibly the first time I've had to modify a craft in order to review it, because well, as the name says on this tin, this version has transparent shields. The old version does not. So if we go here, and if we sort by the name, get down and pop in the original Kirov, which is this thing right here, exactly the same except for the shield color settings. If we spawn in something, like let's just spawn in an angler for giggles, the ship vanishes, and I can't actually see what's happening anymore. Which is a bit of an issue because part of when I review craft, I combat test them, and I can't see what the damage is for stuff like this. So that's only a minor quibble, and it's mostly an aesthetic choice for people, whether they have transparent shields or not. This is just kind of... I personally think this is kind of ugly and annoying because I can't see what's happening, and it just kind of looks like, well, it kind of looks like a giant soap bubble, and that's it. Okay, so deleting the angler right now. Shields. Oh, there we go. Righty-ho then. So you off right there. So, what is good about this ship to start off with? Well, it has a LAM system. You might have noticed that. This LAM system has not survived the laser changes particularly well. I don't remember how many there have been since this craft was first submitted, but there have been many, and the LAM system is not as good as it once was. So down here we see lots of destabilizers, which isn't necessarily a bad thing anymore if you know what you're doing. No storage cavities whatsoever. Yep, so yeah, I think this thing might have been built before storage cavities were even a thing. So yeah, that is the thing. It does have a LAM system, not optimized, but frankly, I'm gonna let that one go, simply because lasers have changed a lot. It also has a lot of guns on it, so I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 turrets, all with various kind of gun in them. Pretty much all of them are high explosive, I believe. Have to double check that. And actually, no, it's not 9, it's 10. It has a little bonus super cavitation gun down here. And this is a heat gun, which is actually quite clever. So we go here, and we go here, and this is the shell. And the great thing about heat is that you don't actually need an inertial fuse on it. It just, when it hits blocks, it detonates, which means no inertial fuse needed, and which means that if you're firing them from underwater, where shields tend not to be, it's a great way to kind of eat into the underside of a ship, and there's a lot of juicy targets below the waterline. Yeah, so that's a pretty sweet little feature right there. I keep forgetting that you can do this. Like, I should, at some point, build a battleship upside down and just hide a lot of turrets just underneath the hull. That'd be quite fun. And where are we? Here we are. Okay, so it also has redundant AIs. You go look here, it's it got an AI for everything, so it's got main AA, but convenient labeled. I love it when people label their AIs. I've started doing it myself a lot simply because it's so convenient to remembering which one does what. Main AA, front guns, rear guns, main cannon, torpedoes, which means this thing is not easy to AI dead. So you have to kill 5 separate AI spread out throughout the whole ship. That is a good thing. It also has PIDs. Well, yeah, it has a lot of PIDs because otherwise this big fat thing will be too heavy to float. Like, you'll notice that when I spawn it in, it sinks completely. In fact, if I go and find the PID right now, where it would be? Oh, here it is. And down she goes. So yeah, PIDs are a very good thing to have if your craft is otherwise too heavy to float. So that's a-okay. There's downsides, but there's lots of upsides too. Spawn you in again, simply because for demonstration purposes I have sunk you. It also comes with an oil refinery, so this thing is self-sufficient. It doesn't need to have a tanker ship followed around. Not a hugely efficient oil refinery. But where are we? So the refinery efficiency is 11, so converting 500 material... Oh, come on. Get out of the water. So it's converting 500 material to just over 5,000 fuel per minute. Batches take 1 second. And so, yeah, this thing continually resupplies itself. It's not the most efficient refiner, but if you cannot be stuffed to... whatchamacallit? If you cannot possibly be stuffed to have a supply ship running around, this is just very good. Jesus, that's a lot of repair bots. More on that later. It's got almost cheaty props, so one of the rules in this whole subscriber craft review thing is that I don't like exploits, so simply because exploits are completely unskilled kind of thing, and so this thing has internal props, however, they're not on spin block, so when I first saw these I was thinking like, oh, jeez, what the hell is the point of this color filter? Okay, here we are. So these things are internal, and this craft doesn't have air pumps, so this is basically free propulsion since they have 8 meters of space, except for this one. Because there's not enough space right here, so you could get rid of that, and now it's working. In fact, didn't need that block there anyway. There's the odd mistake here, there, and everywhere on this vessel. So yeah, it's got internal props, just for free propulsion. Got these exposed props out here. I know some people hate this, like, goodness knows I'm not particularly fond of it either, but where the hell are we? Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of sticking internal props, but hey, it works, and technically it's within the game system that this does work, so yeah, like, I don't know, maybe there should be something where if there's any block blocking it, harder, then it shouldn't work, but yeah, that'd be too hard to implement. So yeah, it's got spare props in case the back ones get shot off. It also has torpedoes, lots of them. And so these are very big torpedoes, so you can tell this was made before the big missile update, or at least I think it was. And because it has lots and lots of them. That's one of the reasons why this thing is so expensive. It has a lot of torpedoes and a lot of missiles, and they're pretty decent torpedoes, explosive and frag. They got the ballast tanks. They have no guidance systems, unfortunately, so these are for shooting at things that are... Well, they do the trick simply because if something is sinking, these things can kill it. So yeah, that's pretty handy. And speaking of missiles, it has missiles up the front here. Quite a few of them. That is, is there any more, actually? Nope. Over here. Stop sinking, sir. Stop sinking, sir. So it has... How many is this? 1, 2, 3. Oh, goodness. Wait, I can do this.
Receiving.
Okay, so 55... It's got 35 missiles, I'm guessing, because it's got more stuff here. Yeah. So it's got 35 of these missiles. You can pause the video and count if you like. I'm not going to do that, because I'm feeling lazy. Anyway, so these things are pretty bog standard radar seekers, frag, EMP, target protection, lots of fuel, and a few fins. They're nothing to write home about, but they get the job done. And yeah, so that's the missiles. It also has internal turning props, which is a very clever feature. So if you're ever just really sick and tired, it also has a pitch control daddy blade right here, which I forgot to note in my notes. But here's what I'm talking about. So these things, same story, is that these are completely inside the craft. Ooh, wood blocks, naughty. Even though I use them. So these things they're set up to turn the craft, and they can do that because they have just enough space. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh yeah, space to spare. So this is something you can do with big ships with a lot of space in them. You can basically hide the turning props inside it. So maintain some the hydrodynamic hull and keep them nice and safe. Again, there are people who would look at this and just throw up in the nearest bucket. And I'm also not a huge fan of doing stuff like this, but I have to admit, it works. It works quite nicely. This thing only loses the ability to turn when it's almost dead, so that's a point there. It also has a lot of smoke, so smoke works a little bit differently than it used to. And yeah, so you probably don't need this much smoke, but it has smoke, and that's something I always forget to stick on my craft. And I believe it also has decent aim point spoofing, so let's see. Where have you hidden your ammunition? You have hidden it. Where have you hidden it? It does not have good. Oh, I forgot it has steam engines. Just this is why big ships are a little bit of a pain, because they've just got so much stuff in them. I always miss things. Where is your ammunition? I actually don't know where it is. I thought I knew where it was. Apparently I don't. Oh, here it is. Right near the center of mass. Never mind. Where is the center? No, okay. It's just forward of the center of mass. That is not a lot of ammo. That is very little ammo, actually. Anyway, now on to the much longer list, unfortunately, of things that this thing is not doing well. And first off, you'll notice the amount of repair bots it has. It has a huge amount of repair. I'm not even going to count these. I'm going to count one line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. That's one line of them. Look at all the other ones. So this thing has... Oh goodness, how many would this have? It's it looks, I would say, about 300 repair bots. Easy. That's a little bit too many, Captain. If you need that many, then your craft has taken damage too much to begin with. So this thing, when it gets damaged, is burns through materials like no one's business. This is the most repair monster of repair monsters I have ever seen. So... It's also got slow shells, so if we go hang out on this gun right here, it's got a squash head. Ooh, squash head. Inertial fuse isn't really needed with the squash. And what gauge is this gun again? It is a 250mm gun. 250. You will notice that the muzzle velocity is not great. And that's okay if you're building a gun that is basically... an APS trying to be a cram cannon, where it is very accurate, fires slowly, and is just blah blah blah. But yeah, this is quite slow. This thing misses a lot. And I believe the gun itself is... Okay, accuracy isn't terrible, but it's not great either. And this is the main problem with this craft, is that it's got burp guns. So what that means is, if you fire them, it dumps a whole bunch of shells. Which one this? This one on top, for instance, it does this. This is exactly, and I'm glad I managed to get to this craft before the big APS update happens. Yeah, there's an APS update coming, in case you didn't know. Which one is... Okay, we're just going like this, and then it takes a donkey's age to reload, and that's bad. So that's pretty much exactly what the APS update is seeking to fix. Basically a 500mm gun able to do that. And this is pure HE, and that does a lot of damage assuming it hits. There's multiple problems with having burp guns. Wow, it even has repair tentacles in here. Lots of... Oh my god, there's more repair bots. Where's this? Is this the repair bots I was looking at before? Okay, yeah, that's the same line of repair bots. In any case, so, for one thing, at the start of a battle, I tend to notice that a lot of these shots just miss, simply because they go brrrr, and it's like, yeah. So you'll see that the cooler limit on this, it can go over 2,500 rounds per minute, but I love this new UI for advanced scanners. It makes them so easy to make. And the actual sustained rate of fire, which is set by the autoloaders, is 50 rounds per minute. So you drop this to, say, let's go here, 52. You still get a respectable rate of fire that is less likely to miss overall. This is better, because it also allows your ammunition reserves time to catch up with your gun and its usage of ammo, so that is overall a better kind of rate of fire rather than just the burp, which is this. Let's see that again, because it's I know some people like this, I personally am not a fan, but also the fact the recoil almost rolls this thing over isn't great either. It's also got non-transparent shields, as I mentioned before, which just from a gameplay standpoint, like, that's not fun to watch. Like, how can that... You can't see what your craft's doing. So, I personally don't understand why people do that, but, I don't know, that's that's mainly an aesthetic thing. I don't know what mainly means. But, it's also got small shell, high explosive, which isn't necessarily a bad thing as of right now. Well, it's all squash, now that I think about it. Lots of different things. Okay, so that... I do know for sure that one of these guns is somewhere. Maybe it's these ones. No, that's Disruptor. Okay. With super cavitation... Ew. Ew. Let's see that again. It's a 250mm gun. It's like... Oh, dear. Yeah, like, you really need a base bleeder and a stabilizer fin with a disruptor conduit, otherwise it's not going to be accurate at all. But again, that's going to change, so I'm not going to spend too long talking about that. What else? It has also no torpedo defense whatsoever, and to demonstrate that, I will spawn in one of my crappy submarines. Well, no, let's spawn in an actual submarine. So, let's go Steel Striders, submarine. Let's throw in something. What's something that has way too many torpedoes? I don't want to spawn in a blackcurrant. Actually, no, let's spawn in a blackcurrant. Which is like a fruit. So that's gonna happen. Blackcurrant is going to dive. Jeez. That looked like it hurt a lot. So as you can see, torpedoes are just sailing all the way through. And oh, wow, that looked very painful. It just took out one of the guns, I think. Oh, the lag. Oh, the lag is real. Oh no, oh no, 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 no. No. Stop that right now. Oh my god, what is... Whoa, what? What? Why was there a nuke? What happened? What? I'm confused. I'm very confused. What? What on earth happened there? Was there a nuke? Was there just a random nuke in here that I missed? I'm very confused. But in any case, watch how fast this thing repairs. It's like, so yeah, no torpedo defense is a I don't even know what happened there, but yeah, no torpedo defense is a bit of a problem, especially for a large ship. And also no guidance on the torpedoes. It's like, also torpedoes down here, local weapon controller. Let's see, can I find this? Can I find it? Yes, I can. Here we go. Local weapon controller, not controlled because we've got EMP'd. There's no altitude limit on this, so maximum altitude to engage should be something like 10, and that's to stop it shooting at things that are flying or not in the water. And you don't want your torpedoes firing when they're not supposed to, because that is a huge waste of ammunition. Dun, 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 dun. Right, so... Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, upwards pointing anti-air lasers. That's a positive thing. That's quite a cunning way to stop things just endlessly circling over the top of you and just raining death down on you. Which is what my equivalent of bombers tend to do. So these work pretty well. So just have a look at these. They are very exposed. So these things... These are upwards-facing lasers. It also has them in the sides as well. These little chimneys, they're exposed. And as of right now, you don't actually need laser optic lines this long. You can get away with them being much shorter because lasers are always 100% accurate. And if you're shooting at aircraft right over you, like, you don't really need to get rid of the attenuation of them that much. So yeah, that's a thing. The fact that these side lasers also hang out below the waterline, not great. Not a great thing, because lasers these days, they cannot shoot through water for peanuts. Their damage fall-off is just huge. Like, looking at this laser, for instance, like, if this laser was to fire through 500 meters of water, that's like 88% of damage gone already. It's like, it's nothing. Nothing is left. Okay, there's that. And yeah, so I would recommend hiding these things in the superstructure rather than sticking them out on the side like this, because these things get destroyed pretty quickly. This thing only has 1,000 material storage, I just noticed. That's a problem. Anyway, so also its gun... I tend to find that this thing's guns are very exposed, and it's not an easy science to not have your guns exposed. You kind of need to stick them in the center of the craft and just have a broad expanse of deck in between them and the outer edge. I'm still working on it myself, really, but yeah. So having guns just sitting out on the deck is just begging for them to get shot, and also sticking them high on the superstructure. Found out the hard way you don't want to do that. Superstructure should mostly just be like big and wide and just able to take essentially blocking shots from hitting other things. Like, superstructure is expendable, and this gun in particular, high arcing shots from crams or from APS guns fired from above, they tend to hit this thing right in the face. And these aren't heavy barrels, so this heavy armor on the turret cap pretty much does nothing. Yeah, so that's also a thing. Exposed heavy armor. It's not generally a good idea to have... Well, like, as I've said before, heavy armor is just generally too valuable and too expensive to be shot at. You want it behind something else. You want it last-ditch defense, and for the most part, multiple layers of metal do the trick otherwise. Although, having an inner layer of heavy armor on a turret cap and then surrounded by something else, that can work pretty well. And leaving holes in it, as I've said many times before, is just, it's rendering this useless, because this will be destroyed long before this is, and armor that survives longer than the thing it's attached to is not very useful. So, that is an issue. And where's exposed guns? Aha! The engines! The engines. Now, I am not a engine type expert, But I do know that if you're going to use carburetors, using turbochargers, these things, is like pretty much the done thing. Like, you want something that improves fuel efficiency at high RPM. So, yeah, so looking at, if you haven't, if those of you watching don't know about the UFEP, the Useful Fuel Engine platform on the Steam Workshop, I highly recommend you look at that. In fact, Captain, if you haven't looked at that already, I highly recommend you do, because it has a number of fuel engines on it that are very good, and there's pretty much just two kinds. There is the carburetor turbocharger engines, and then there's pure injectors, because I don't think superchargers ever get much love at all. Large because, like, at low RPM, like, why are you having an engine that is running at low RPM? You should run them bleeding edge to justify their cost. At least that's what I think anyway. So this is just, it's big, it's not power dense, it's not a good engine. Sorry. And Silent Enders, it's got excessive laser warners. Why did I say, yeah, it's got a 1, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so laser warners warn of lasers within 20 meters of them, so having one every 10 meters, I guess is good for redundancy, but it's also a little bit excessive. If nothing else, because these things are a weak point in the hull. So you see here, there's a nice little explosion leak leading straight down in here, which is going to pop a shield and pop all the smoke. In fact, the smoke back here on the... Wait, where am I? I'm on the front of the ship. Okay, the smoke over on the rear of the ship, the similar setup right here, that tends to get popped pretty easily. Like, even if no lasers are being used, you just see the back end of this thing just go up in smoke, literally. So yeah, you don't want to leave like little gaps in your armor like that. Also here, this I think is just plain old user error. I think, or maybe the fill key that got, that looks like a mirror mode error, because yeah, there's a 3-meter gap over there. It was meant to be over there. Instead, it was one to the side of it. So, that's an issue. And what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh yeah, missing blocks. Oh yeah, there's a point where, what is it? There's like a turret that had missing blocks right next to it. Aha, here. So, yeah, like this gun does not survive very long in fights, because there's this nice little hole right here, which is perfect for high explosive round to just land, take out a local weapon controller. Wait, what? Oh, take out the smoke dispenser, that shield, and also this gun. That's a bit of an issue. And again, that looks like a mirror mode error. So, it happens to the best of us, but it's always good to check that. Also, this has metal in the middle here, and this has heavy armor. So that's pretty inconsistent. And what else, what else, what else? Also, oh yeah, too many AI components. So, this might be a bug, because the AI is using 803 out of 1,000 components, no more can connect. I don't think that's the case. Nope, so I don't know what's going on here, but there might be just too many of them. Call sign main AA, call sign main AA. Using 803 out of 1,000. I don't know what this is, but it's an issue. It is an issue. And calibrated and functioning. No more can connect. Yeah, I don't get it. Like, that is an issue I've run into before. Just it thinks there's too many when actually there isn't. But you might want to just spread around, attach laser warners to a different AI, perhaps. Okay, so where are we? Where are we? Also, I mentioned the lambs before. This is too many lambs nodes. Because laser power is split between all of them, if you have too many, they just exhaust the laser energy reserves too fast, and then they run out of power very, very quickly. So it's important not to kind of balance the amount of nodes you have to like how much laser power you have and how much quickly you can produce it, because this is too many. This does not deal like with sustained volleys of anything very well. So let's turn this off. I think I can show you what I mean. Spawn in our friend. Assuming this works. So back in the day... Oh, no, I forgot about this. Well, that's not a fair test, is it? Wow, but you could... Yeah, that lambs didn't do anything. Okay, we're gonna delete you and spawn in the thing where I can actually see what I'm doing. Wait... And wait... Wee. God, lose weight, Kirov. You're too big. You're too big. You do not float. You do not floaty float. You can actually stick air pumps in here, and if you don't, oh my. That is clever, but also annoying at the same time. Jeez, Cap, you do like your internal props, don't you? This makes no physical sense. How did I miss this? Wow. This is right on the edge of exploit. Like, a lot of people are gonna watch this video and, like, not like this craft, I can already tell. Like, but yeah, because this is dirty. This makes me feel dirty. Really dirty. This is a good setup down here, though. Like, these props being inside the hull and having these little safety holes to, power through, that's okay. That is in fact good design, I'd say. So let's spawn in the hornet's nest again. We'll see how well that lambs does. Oh, jeez. So you see, it popped to 1. There we go. What the hell happened there? Okay, so admittedly, this is a massive. Yeah, that's another reason why you don't want too many repair bosses, because they get absolutely bullied by EMP. And actually, that's another reason this thing's so expensive, is because of all those repair bots. Yeah, so it's good for the occasional missile, but yeah, it cannot keep it up at all. And by the way, I've yet to build a lambs now that can deal with an entire hornet's nest volley. Which is an issue, because the hornet's nest is very annoying, and is my go-to missile defense testing thing. So yeah, too many lambs nodes. The top gun also needs its accuracy tweaked, because it's set at 2. I think this is the only gun on here that has that problem. The rest are set to the recommended. Nope, these ones, the disruptors. The disruptors don't have that. What the? Wow, I keep finding new things as I'm here. Omni mantlets, only useful for fixed guns. You're better off using the elevation mantlet if it's on a turret. Jeez, I keep finding new stuff. And there's only so long you can look at a craft before your eyes start to bleed. But yeah, that's needs accuracy tweaks, for sure, for sure. What else? The armor is also nothing to write home about. And back in the day when lambs were overpowered, that wouldn't have been an issue. But this thing has at best 2 to 3 layers of metal around the hull, which isn't bad. It's got 3, yep, it's got 3 right here. But it's not good either, and on a ship this large, I would expect the armor to be, well, here we have 4 meters of metal, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, because one of the main perks of building big is that you can have thick armor. And yeah, I've been on record before saying that there is such a thing as being too thick armor. That is true, but, ooh, hello. You got heavy armor beam right here. No spaced armor, though. Yeah, that's a, what is it? Yep, that's an unarmored turret. Also, transparent clips. Your CPU will hate you for that. Yeah, what else? So, armor isn't great. It's, yeah, exposed heavy armor, as I mentioned before. And this is a... Whoa! It's like an ant's nest in here. Look at that! Look at those bots freaking out. Whoa! Damn! That's a little... That's actually a little creepy to watch, just the way they're moving like that. It really does remind me of an ant's nest. Okay, I got distracted, so... No paint. So this is a purely aesthetic thing. It's just this thing not having any paint. Like, okay, you repair bots are way too friggin'... Oh no. Oh no. It's repairing so fast that it's repairing blocks that only fall off again. That's another reason why too many repair bots is a bad idea. You don't want them repairing so fast that they repair blocks into existence that aren't connected to anything yet, and then they just fall off. That's a problem. Anyway, so, lack of paint. Now, I know for a fact that some people don't like to paint their craft. And goodness knows I've built craft which I've decided to leave unpainted simply because it looks better that way. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, you could do a touch-up here and there, so a bit of trim on the edges, just to make it look finished. And I guess that is entirely an opinion, by the way. You don't need to do that if you don't want to. But, yeah, like, even you could do something like this. You could just go here, and, like, alpha up to there. Get everything looking like a sexy gunmetal grey.
Receiving.
Let's buff the paint on this one. Yeah, so there, I just made it slightly darker, and there you go. I do that sometimes when I'm feeling lazy. Heavy armor does not match, though. Like, you could go the other way as well. You could do this. Just anything other than just the usual metal color, which always looks a little bit dull. But yeah, that's a thing. And last thing on the list, for now, there's probably other things I've missed, and sorry for missing them. Like, Captain, this thing was made months ago. I'm sure if you go back to it now, you'll spot many things yourself, for sure, that I have missed. So let's load this guy in again. It just occurred to me, maybe the thumbnail should just be this thing covered in shields. And me just saying, like, I can't see you. Turn you off. The one last thing this thing needs, especially since because it has so many repair bots and AI components on deck, it really does need EMP proofing. Like, badly, because it's got a whole bunch of repair bots touching metal. So when EMP hits this thing, like, it's also got shields attached here, lots of shields, it's in the name, in fact. It's got shields touching bare metal, it's got repair bots touching bare metal, local weapon controls touching bare metal. This thing needs, like, you could replace, well, you probably should replace, like, a whole line of these repair bots with surge protectors. Because, like, it badly needs it. If this thing gets hit with EMP, it gets pretty much crippled immediately. Where are the detection systems? Oh yeah, there it is. Coincidence, rangefinders, passive radar. Laser rangefinders, here they are. Here, then, everywhere, and that's basically it. So basically, overall, this craft has a few cunning things in it. The internal props, and the Daddy Blade pitch control is one of them. It's got decent missiles, decent torps. The torps could use an extra guidance system, but a whole lot of things need to be updated. And, yeah, the guns need work, the armoring needs work, and that's aside from the aesthetic choices, which is entirely up to you, Captain, but honestly, for combat testing, it's good to be able to see what is happening to your craft, and so the shields, at the very least, need to allow you to see that. It's also got very pointy front here. Another aesthetic. I've been getting more aesthetic lately, and I don't like it. I miss the days when I didn't care about that kind of thing, but anyway. So we should finish this off with a fight. And I'm gonna, like, demonstrate why repair bots aren't exactly a good idea all the time. I'm gonna chuck this thing against the Star Slung. And testing out custom battle things. So transparent shield so we can see what we're doing. And if the Star Slung loses now, that will be hilarious. Be hilarious, oi! Be hilarious! I don't know why I put on that accent. So, oh yeah, we need fleet colors. We need fleet colors. Not my fleet colors, because there's a weird bug. Like, you all know my fleet. Actually, yeah, let's demonstrate that. There's a weird bug with the custom battle thing, is that the player's fleet colors show up as not what it's meant to be at all. Like, I don't know why it says my fleet colors are that, because that's not what they are. That's not my fleet colors, yo. That's not my fleet colors. Like, whose game are you looking at? So we're going to send off the Kirov now. I actually do like the custom battle feature apart from that. So here we are. There's the Star Slung. Not in my fleet colors at all. There's too much blue. So here we are. There's that burp gun firing, and stopped pretty much dead. And yeah, like, missile spam does not work against decoys, by the way, because the Star Slung just flung a large missile into space, and these radar-guided missiles are going straight for it. And yeah, these ships only have 10,000 resources each. And these big EMP missiles are going to do a number on it right now. You see, all the repair bots are gone already. Yeah. And for the record, the Kirov is a lot more expensive than the Star Slung. And it's just, it's not having a good time. Again, this is not me showing off. I have no real choice but to measure other people's craft next to my own. Because, like, what else am I going to compare it with? So yeah, like, EMP proofing, very important. All that other stuff, very important. Yeah, look, just waves of repair bots just being sheared off by big EMP missiles. Whoa, that's a lot of burp. So how many of these actually get through here? The LAM system isn't as good as it used to be, but, whoa, that, yeah, an awful lot of them just missed or were taken out. I also would recommend not using aim point selection, simply because aim point selection is really terrible. Like, against something like the Star Slung that has all its ammo in the rear. Oh, why does it miss? I'm so sad when it misses. How are we doing? Yeah, now the Kirov is out of materials, so that's a pretty bad time. I need to lengthen the barrels on the Star Slung. It misses way too much, and it makes me sad. Yep, and there goes that top turret. Ooh, pen depth cramps. Pen depth cramps. Yeah, I think, yeah, mobilized. And not a good show. So yeah, sometimes, more is not better. Like, I am loving how it's, like, look at this. Okay, some of them have been blown off, but, others haven't. What's happening down there? Oh yeah, so, lack of torpedo defense is a bit of an issue. Because torpedoes are coming in here and just doing horrible things. So yeah, like, this could be avoided. Like, I really do recommend sticking decoys on here as well, so because large decoys in particular are so good at distracting missiles. It's not even funny. Like, you saw the opening volley that the Kirov threw. It's just, it got dragged into space. Got dragged straight into space like it wasn't even an issue. And LAMs really now are just a general purpose. Like, the odd missile that doesn't get distracted, like, gets pulled. So yeah, got through this review a lot faster than I normally do. So, Captain, I'm sorry, I know it's painful to watch your ship just get wrecked, but think of it as a learning experience. Because goodness knows, like, I abuse my designs horribly. Like, I put them into fights they can't possibly win just to see how badly they lose. So yeah. Yes, a problem. Ah, poor thing. I feel bad now. What the? Oh, hello. Ah, this is interesting. It's got little heavy armor triangles in it. See, this is a more cunning use of heavy armor. It's just hiding it. Basically, if you can see it, it's not doing the best job it could be. This could take a while, actually. Well, no, not really, because, I'm trying to remember now, is this a... Oh yeah, they're pure heat. Well, apart from the frag. Yeah, so if nothing else, Captain, if you're wanting to upgrade this thing, and, like, maybe you don't want to, sometimes you look back on old craft and think, nah, I'm gonna start afresh, I would wait until the APS updates come in. Because of, like, okay, this fight's officially taking too long. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, so... thank you, Captain M53, for submitting your craft, and thank you for being patient with me. It's taken a long time coming. Why did that missile miss? Damn it, Drava, you put the miss in missile. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Support me on Patreon if you like, it really helps. And I will see you next time in From the Depths Subscriber Craft Review. Farewell!